Welcome to KetoMealsAndRecipes.com. As promised, here's the demonstration on how to make sugar-free royal icing with a few examples of how I decorated my Christmas cookies. The macronutrient ratio is, 0 to 1 because this is mostly an erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol-based sweetener. The total carbs is 0.9 grams and there's no dietary fiber, so the net carbs are 0.9 as well. This could actually be considered a zero-carb recipe since erythritol is not usually absorbed and passes through without being metabolized. To make my icing, the first thing I did was to grind my erythritol-based monk fruit sweetener to a confectionary consistency, and then I carefully measured out 330 grams as I passed it through a fine sieve. It's important to sift your sweetener because it'll help make a smoother, more fluid icing. Royal icing can be flavored with vanilla or any other extract you like. For this demonstration, and quite frankly, because I think it tastes really nice with my keto sugar cookies, I'm going to use the lemon extract. I think it enhances the lemon juice flavor and balances the exceptionally sweet taste of the icing. Since I'm using my stand mixer, I have placed the paddle attachment on it. Then I poured the room temperature egg whites into the bowl and added the lemon juice and combined these two ingredients. Then add all the confectionery sweetener as you blend on low speed. Continue for a couple minutes so that the icing is very smooth. At this stage, your icing will be very stiff. This icing can be thinned to whatever consistency you need. However, just one bit of advice. This royal icing dries out very quickly, so use it right away. Or alternatively, store it in an airtight container. But since I'm going to be using it right away, I have divided the royal icing into two batches. One batch which I'm going to leave white. And to this batch I'm going to add a bit of my Wilton blue gel color. I like this shade of blue because to me it looks old-fashioned, but use your favorite color to make your cookies look festive. After I got the shade I wanted, I placed the frosting into a piping bag with a size 3 nozzle, but that didn't work very well for me. My nozzle kept getting clogged because of how quickly the frosting hardened. So I went to plan B and I used a Ziploc baggie, which worked much better. Regardless of the shape of your cookie, it's a good idea to outline the perimeter with a fairly soft but fluid icing. Then to fill in the center, I created a flooding consistency icing. That means that I added a bit more water to my icing so that it actually poured at about a consistency of a maple syrup. By having the flooding icing more fluid, it made it much easier to fill in the center of the cookie. If you're finding that you're adding too much icing to each cookie, just water the icing down a bit more, because if you're covering the entire cookie, you want a very thin layer of icing only. Next, I'm going to do a wet on wet decoration. So for this mitten, as you can see, I did the base in a solid blue. Then using my white icing, I placed dots and trim on top of the wet blue icing. Place your finished cookie on a flat surface like a cooling rack. It's really important that you leave it alone. As with regular sugar-based royal icing, to get that nice crispy matte finish, it will take about 8 hours for the icing to cure and harden. Now let's decorate the snowflake. I think white on white looks really nice. To make the design on top, I used my medium consistency icing and just let the icing flow and squeezed as I hovered over the surface to make the design. Now here are some of the designs that I made. You can get very fancy with how you decorate your cookies, but I like the more rustic, simple design. As with this snowflake with the blue dots, I put an extra thin layer of icing on as a base so that my design would stand out more. I hope that this tutorial has been helpful. So I hope you have fun decorating your cutout cookies with this sugar-free royal icing. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Please consider subscribing if you're new to my channel and enable the notification by pressing the bell icon.